Hi there, my name is Kyle Anderson, and I'm a assistant professor of Biochemistry, Microbiology, and Immunology at the University of Saskatchewan. And I am also a father of five kids in Prairie Spirit School Division, grades 3 through 10 this year, ages 7 through 15. And I would like to take a moment to speak to you as a concerned parent and scientist and citizen of Saskatchewan to talk about what I feel is a lack of a testing plan as we reopen schools. Now, anyone who's driven roads in Saskatchewan knows about risk management. You can drive faster during the summer than the winter, the day during the night. If there's blowing snow across the road, if there are a sign that there are moose for the next 20 kilometers that you need to look out for, we know that the amount of attention that you're paying and the amount of speed that you can go on the road sort of corresponds to the overall conditions. The only way to really know whether you should be going faster or slower to the conditions is having good observations. And in the case of COVID-19, that's where testing comes in. Testing is our surveillance. Testing is our way of knowing whether we should be opening up or slowing down. If we do no testing, we have no way, right? We're flying blind. So I want you to imagine two scenarios. The first, what would appear to be the scenario that the province wants us to go right now. And that's a scenario where we are doing no preventative testing. We aren't doing any monitoring of school populations to check and see if anyone's sick. Now, what's the likely thing to have happen at the start of the year is that our case numbers in Saskatchewan are low. There are probably going to be no COVID positive students or staff in a school when that school opens. At some point, somebody's going to get sick. If it's a student, the chances are that student is going to be pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic, where we don't know that they're sick while they're attending school. As they are attending school, whether they're wearing masks or not, we don't need to worry about all those other sort of possible scenarios, but if they are in school, they are going to have a chance to spread it to other students and to spread it to their teachers, taking it home and all of that. If that student has no symptoms, and the first students they spread it to also don't have symptoms because they're young kids who don't show a lot of symptoms, it might be a while for that virus to sort of take root in the population before we're able to detect that there actually are positive cases. Maybe an EA finally gets sick and then they go, okay, there's a case at the school. They test everyone and they realize there's actually 30 cases at this school or something like that, right? School has to go into lockdown. Every student has to be sent home. Everyone needs to be monitored for 2 to 3 weeks to make sure they have no symptoms. They have to be tested and retested. This essentially shuts down the entire school. Imagine a second scenario where in a perfect world, nothing's perfect, but let's imagine in a well-resourced world, we were able to test every student and every staff member every single day. By the time we come up with one positive case, we isolate that person, they get sent home, we test their close contacts, and we say, you know what, nobody else tested that day as positive. Say close contacts, students in that class, students in that pod, whatever we might sort of do, you have to stay home for 5 days. We're going to test you in 2 days. We're going to test you 2 days after. By then, we've sort of passed through the incubation period. If you're negative, you can come back to school. The way that we could do that is that we had a lot of surveillance, a lot of testing going on. We can't test every student every day or every staff member every day. There are probably 150,000 students and staff members in Saskatchewan, and if we had the capacity, we could. But right now, at most, Saskatchewan is running about 10,000 tests a week. We can't do that many tests. So how can we try and find a good balance between maximizing testing and having that sort of observational testing to give us that early warning system with the number of tests that we can actually do? And the answer is pooled testing. In Germany, researchers sort of came up with this idea, and it's been used in hospitals around the world of, if you have a population of largely negative individuals, you could swab 10, 15, 30 people at once, and you don't need to use back of the throat swab, back of the nose. You can use front of the nose swabs. Those are found to be just about as effective as back of the nose swabs and much better tolerated by children. You could swab 30 kids on Monday, put them all into one bag. You test all of those as one test. If that one test comes back negative, you know that all of those kids were negative, and you don't test them again until next week. If one test, one pool comes back positive, then you test each of the individuals in that class. You don't need to test the other classrooms, you don't need to test the other schools. You can save thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of tests each week by using this pooled testing method. This is going to allow us to detect positive cases more rapidly and isolate those cases before they have a chance to spread to other students in the classroom, to the teachers, to the parents, to the people who are really at-risk individuals. Kids are really low risk. The province isn't lying to us when they say that the risk to students is low. What they're glossing over is the fact that those students are going to make their parents sick, they're going to make their teachers sick, and those have 100 times higher risk of adverse outcomes. So please share this video, like this video, send this information to your MLA and say, we need to have a testing strategy at schools in Saskatchewan. We can't just be flying blind. Thank you.